Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm going to talk about the 450 from round two in San Francisco. Tough race, pretty crazy to watch. First and foremost, we got Chase. Chase got that hole shot and just kind of ripped away, which was good to see. Him kind of bounce back, and he just timed that gate perfectly. I think he said that he thought he saw it flinch, and he went, and luckily the gate did drop because he could have been way in the back had it not. So it was good to see him kind of rebound because he just seemed flat last week. I know he got third, but he wasn't really. I mean, Webb and Anderson definitely pulled away from him. So it's good to see him get a win and kind of spice up the points a bit. And then number two, Eli Tomac, welcome back. I know Tomac's done really well in past mud races, so I was looking to see this is kind of an opportunity for him to make some points back from his kind of disappointing race last week, if you would call it that. I know he doesn't do well in Anaheim, and coming back off that injury, I wasn't sure how well he was going to be at this point in his career. But it's great to see him finish second. I thought he was going to make a push to get Sexton. I know he wasn't doing that little jump onto that table because he would get it down to 3 seconds and he would lose like 2 seconds every lap not doing that. But it was good to see him. Seems like he was almost going to get up to Sexton. It seems like he's not. Kind of made it the race worth watching because otherwise it wasn't the most entertaining to watch race. They were just kind of, once they got in their positions, there's a lot of putting around and who just staying up and surviving the race. And then third place, you got Ken. Ken seemed like from his podium interview, it seemed like he had a rough start to the race, but he was able to work his way up. I thought he was potentially going to try to push to see if he could get Tomac, especially because he actually got credited with the whole shot. So I'm not sure what exactly happened to him off the start, but he somehow ended up way back, got up behind Tomac, and then he was slowly closing the distance there, and then eventually Tomac was able to kind of pull away. He kind of steadied out. Roczen did so. But a good race from Roczen. Gains a lot of points up, which he needed from his unfortunate race last week. So that's good for him on the points situation. And then you have Shane McElrath fourth, and this is one of those races where these conditions provide opportunities for people who maybe won't finish top five. And Shane McElrath took complete advantage of that, and good job on him. It's good to see him up there. AP back-to-back fifths. Good to see Aaron Pleshner finish well. I thought he was gonna potentially, really win the race with how long his legs are and fastest qualifier. I had a lot of hope for him. As everybody wants to see him win his first race, I think. But it just didn't unfold. But he's still 5-5. Gained some points in the championship as well. So good for him. In sixth, you got Dylan Fernandez. Solid ride. It's a mud race. Sometimes you think the European riders, the guys that came from the European races, racing series, you think they're going to do pretty well. And they did. I mean, they 6th and 7th here. He actually got Dylan Fernandez, and then following him is Jorge Prado. It's good to see Dylan get 6th. That's a solid finish. And then Jorge Prado gets the heat race win. Great for him. All smiles. He's got to be happy. And then finishes 7th in the main, which I'm not sure if he wanted to try to go out and win the thing because of the conditions, and he could bring that back. And that's pretty big, pretty big thing he could say is that he went and won a main event in Supercross in his 3 rounds. But still got 7th place, improved from last week's scoring. But got the heat race win, and he was all smiles, and so I'm sure this has given him a lot of joy and confidence, and it's just something that he can take back with him, and he builds from last week where I think he got 13th in Anaheim one. And then Adam Cianciarulo got 8th. I'm not sure how his arm does in conditions like this. I imagine that it's pretty rough for him to be able to ride. I mean, he still got 8th place, but I imagine with the lingering problems that he has in his forearm and not being able to hold on the bike, that conditions like this really exacerbates that. And it's good to see him be able to finish the race though, and finish top 10. So I'm always happy. I really like Adam. I think he's a great guy, and I really hope that he can maybe get some better finishes soon, but we'll see. And then we got number 9, Jett Lawrence. And we kind of led this week up. There's a lot of talk. Is this going to be an undefeated Supercross season? Which that's hard. It's hard to do, especially because you got 20 minutes plus a lap. If you get a bad start in Supercross, it's hard to make your way up through the pack, just because it's so tight, and you got to kind of plan out some of your passes. And he just had a struggle in the mud. The mud is a great equalizer, and it got the best of Jett tonight, I think. He fell twice in the heat race, and then he fell twice in the main event. And, I mean, these things happen, right? It's a mud race. You hit the gas too hard, you lean over too hard, a rep pulls you one way, you go down. So at least he finished the race. He didn't DNF, so he saves a lot of points by doing that. He did give Chase the points lead, but we'll see how he rebounds, I imagine. I mean, there's always a good chance that Jett will go out and win it next race anyway. But I think there's going to be a battle room between him and Chase as Chase gets a little bit better on the bike. But he had an off race. It is what it is. It's the mud. Things like this happen. And it got the best of him tonight. And he'll see what he does in the next round. And then his brother Hunter, it was good to see him. He qualified for the race. Didn't have to deal with anything from Vince Freezy. But it's good to see him finish, 10th. It's his first main event for the 450 Supercross. So good to see him out there in the main at least. And then Cooper Webb. This is my most disappointing ride, I think, because I thought Coop. I don't know if you remember when he had. I think it was the quarantine races where they finished all the races in Rice-Eccles Stadium. I think there was a mud race in there, and him and Tomac they were still jumping the finish line. They were duking it out, and I knew Tomac would do well in the mud. I thought Cooper was going to do well in the mud as well, especially after his heat race, because he looked really good in the heat race, and then I think he crashed in the main, and then he just kind of slowly started to fall back. Now, he's a shorter rider, so that probably does not help him at all in the mud because he can't touch the ground as easy as somebody like Aaron Plessinger can. But I was really hoping that, this is an opportunity for him to make up a lot of points. I think he's down 18 points now. So he just missed out on making up points on Jett. And then Chase probably still would have won how he was riding. So I just think there's an opportunity lost here, and I was just disappointed with the position that Webb got. I really thought he could do a lot better this race. And then 12th, Jason Anderson. I mean, he got on the start, it's like his front wheel went down in some heavy mud, and it just jerked the bike to almost a stop. And there wasn't much he could do. It just sent him over the bars, and he just kind of lawn darted right into the first straightaway, start straight. And that was unfortunate, but he worked his way back to 12th, so it was good to see that. And then Christian Craig, 14th. Dean Wilson, 16th. Didn't get blindsided by Vince because Vince didn't make the main event. His bike quit on him in the last chance qualifier after he almost cleared Justin Cooper off the track, doing the same thing he did to Hunter last week, where he just cuts to the inside. They should make Vince start on the inside only, so he can't do that. But Vince's bike ended up quitting, and Justin Cooper didn't make the main anyway, which is unfortunate. But Christian Craig, 14th. Dean Wilson, 16th. Good finish. Justin Barsha, he was sick all week. Had to go to the last chance qualifier. Makes it out of the last chance qualifier. Kind of barely. He didn't look very good either there. And then he just toughed it out in the main. But at least he was there, He made the main. That's the bright side, and hopefully we'll see him get better. He had a rough go at the end of last year, and he won the last mud race, but when he broke broke his collarbone, broke it again, and then he got the handlebar to the head in the last super motocross race. It's just he's been off the bike for a while and needs some time to get back into it. And then 22nd, Malcolm. poor guy just got in a crash off the start, and that was it for his race, really. Just that start straight got a few guys, and Malcolm was one of those guys that just didn't make it past it. So that sucks, and I'm really hoping that, it's another racer that I would like to see win, and this mud provided a good opportunity for him to potentially win. But unfortunately, it didn't happen, so hopefully he can rebound next week. And that concludes the video. I hope you guys enjoy. Let me know what you guys think about the race, if you like the track changes, if some of the performances were surprising to you in the comments below, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.